Nikola Tesla was a Serbian American inventor who died poor because, although he was a brilliant scientist, he was bad at handling his financial affairs. He spent virtually every cent he had on new experiments and was always in need of more funding. Join us as we look at 20 secret inventions by Nikola Tesla that shocked the world. 20. Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was a Serbian American inventor, best known for his contributions to the design of the modern alternating current electricity supply system, and he can be seen in our thumbnail shaking hands with a friend of his, or possibly one of his creations. Never in human history has a man been so both revered and reviled as Nikola Tesla. The brilliant inventor, who is credited with groundbreaking discoveries such as the remote control and alternating current, was also well known for his bizarre ideas and strange inventions. Failures, disappointments, financial difficulties, emotional breakdowns, and separation from the rest of the scientific world hampered his trip. Nikola Tesla became an inspiration for many scientists who refused to be boxed in after his death. His insane ideas continue to ring true in the hearts of many people who, like him, choose to go beyond the stars and are not afraid to show the world the fruits of their imagination. The Serbian American inventor's reputation is often connected with his contributions to the development of alternating current electricity, but his work also ventured into the world of robots. While Tesla did not invent robots in the contemporary sense, he was a pioneer in the field of automatons, which are mechanical machines that can perform tasks on their own. Tesla's work paved the way for eventual advances in robotics and remote control. His ideas were ahead of their time, and while he did not create robots as we know them today, his teleautomation was a significant step forward in the evolution of robotic technology. 19. Tesla's Egg of Columbus. Tesla spent a terrible winter working as a ditch digger from 1886 to 1887 after being driven out of Tesla Electric Light Company with nothing except worthless shares. He persevered and was motivated to improve his concept of generating energy through spinning magnetic fields. However, Tesla recognized that he had to find a means to convince investors and supporters to comprehend the potential of his innovation. Tesla created a gadget to demonstrate the concept: an electromagnetic motor that generated the force required to spin a brass egg and stand it upright. The contraption was dubbed the Egg of Columbus by Tesla, after the historical anecdote in which Christopher Columbus challenged the Spanish court and investors to stand an egg upright. When they failed, Columbus took an egg and squashed the bottom flat to keep it upright. They accused him of pulling a cheap trick, but Columbus overcame their objections by explaining that an idea can appear impossible until a smart solution is found, at which time it becomes simple. This idea was incorporated into Tesla's Egg of Columbus, which he used to illustrate his concept of alternating current power to investors. It was a stroke of genius that resulted in investment from investors Alfred S. Brown, the director of Western Union, and Charles F. Peck, a New York City attorney. 18. Tesla electric car. We frequently associate Elon Musk's Tesla with electric vehicles. But did you know that Nikola Tesla, the great inventor, had drawings for an electric car over a century ago? Unfortunately, these concepts were never fully realized, and the electric car concept was put on hold until recently. Tesla presented his ambitious aim to construct a cheap and functional electric car in 1931, at the age of 75. He envisioned a car powered by a new sort of rechargeable battery he designed, dubbed the Tesla battery. This battery was made of a nickel-iron alloy, which Tesla claimed was cheaper, more efficient, and lasted longer than any other type of battery available at the time. Despite Tesla's lofty ambitions, he was unable to get money for his electric car project, and the concept eventually died. 17. Electric arc lamp. Following a disagreement over payment, Nikola Tesla left Thomas Edison's company and formed a new company in partnership with Robert Lane and Benjamin Vail, with Tesla designing an arc lighting system, a fast-growing segment of the new electric light industry used mostly for outdoor lighting. Tesla created an arc lamp with automated adjustment and a fail-safe switch, as well as better dynamos. These were Tesla's initial patents in the United States, By 1886, he had established a central station-based lighting system in Rahway, as well as a few industry buildings. 16. Tesla valve. Nikola Tesla invented the Tesla valve. A Tesla valve, also known by its designer as a valvular conduit, is a fixed geometry passive check valve. It permits a fluid to flow preferentially in one direction while avoiding the use of moving elements. The Tesla valve is utilized in microfluidic applications and has benefits such as scalability, durability, and ease of fabrication in a variety of materials. It's also employed in microfluidics and pulse jet engines. The valve was originally designed to feed fuel into the innovative Tesla turbine, though it has been used in many high-tech applications, from fluidics to mixing. Precision steel ball bearings are used here in place of the fluid to offer a real and tactile insight into the mechanism and operation of this unique solid-state valve, producing an executive desk toy that is truly fascinating to play with. 15. The Wardenclyffe Tower. Tesla was widely considered as America's best electrical engineer by 1900, having captivated the globe with his breakthrough innovations and victory over Thomas Edison in the Battle of Currents. He then began his most ambitious project to date, the Wardenclyffe Transmission Tower. The Wardenclyffe facility, built between 1901 and 1905, was based on another of Tesla's groundbreaking concepts. Tesla intended to use the tower to achieve what had previously been thought to be impossible, a global wireless communication system. The tower would be the prototype for a system that would use the Earth as a conductor to broadcast music, news, stock market reports, secure military communications, and even facsimile images around the world. It was an extremely foresighted attempt to build a telecommunications infrastructure comparable to what the internet provides today, but entirely wireless. But Tesla had a far more ambitious plan for the huge Wardenclyffe Tower. He had already demonstrated that high-frequency signals could be carried wirelessly using his own Tesla coil transformers, which led to what would become a lifelong obsession: wireless energy transmission. Unfortunately, Tesla's lofty ambition for Wardenclyffe outstripped his means and the patience of his sponsors. The project fell into financial difficulties before completion, and the unfinished tower was finally dismantled in 1917 to satisfy Tesla's obligations. What was once a renowned laboratory full of fantastic Tesla innovations is now a desolate memorial to his most ambitious idea. 14. The Teleforce Death Ray. Nikola Tesla was in financial trouble by the 1930s. The once prodigious genius who had revolutionized the globe with his electrical innovations was now a frail old man trudging between Manhattan hotels, stockpiling newspapers and birdseed. When the unpaid bills at one hotel were too much for him, he'd just move on to the next, his fading renown being his only currency. People took notice when Tesla began talking about even crazier projects, such as a powerful new weapon he was developing. Tesla said that his new weapon would use a beam of metal ions traveling at 270,000 miles per hour. Tesla was always vague about how this beam was feasible, claiming new laws of physics that no one had ever imagined. Nonetheless, he boasted to every reporter who would listen about his work. The all-penetrating beam would pack 100 billion watts into just 100 millionth of a square centimeter. For decades, Tesla hyped his Teleforce weapon, claiming it could shoot down planes from 250 kilometers away. The innovation was given a new name by the press: Death Ray. Tesla, despite claims to the contrary, never offered much evidence that the Death Ray operated. But no one could completely ignore the possibility. This was, after all, Tesla. The weapon's popularity skyrocketed in the run-up to World War II, as Nazi Germany created a fearsome air force. People in Tesla's birthplace, then known as Yugoslavia, asked him to return and install the rays to defend them from the Nazi threat. This never materialized, even though Tesla continued to claim he had invented the Death Ray until his death. 13. Radio-controlled ship. Tesla performed a scientific tour de force in Madison Square Garden during the 1898 electrical exhibition, going well beyond the usually considered limits of technology. His innovation was a radio-controlled boat, a large, low-lying steel ship about 4 feet long. Indeed, Tesla had been roaming around New York City since 1895, picking up radio signals created by various high-frequency experiments. He had received them as far away as West Point, which was 30 miles away. He was able to put numerous more control elements to work quickly after inventing or improving them. Tesla's remarkable invention had little understanding or application in 1898. Though he had a grim vision of a military clamor for radio-guided torpedoes, government interest did not materialize. Mark Twain, Tesla's good buddy, wrote promptly saying he was eager to represent Tesla in the sale of this destructive terror he had been inventing to England and Germany. In 1916, the Navy did fund some trials, but the funds went to one of Tesla's competitors. He complained bitterly that he couldn't get any listeners until his patent expired. 12. The earthquake, seismic machine. Tesla was working on waves and resonance for energy transfer in 1896. The plan was to build a mechanical oscillator capable of producing various frequencies until they matched the resonance frequency of the desired object. The gadget was completed in 1897, and in 1898, he allegedly managed to oscillate his laboratory at 48 East Houston Street, New York, to the point where worried neighbors phoned the police and an ambulance, fearing an earthquake. He put his small vibrator in his coat pocket and headed out to look for a half-built steel structure. He discovered one 10 floors of steel framework with no masonry or stone laid around it in the Wall Street neighborhood. He attached the vibrator to one of the beams and fiddled with the settings until he was satisfied. The structure began to groan and weave, and the steelworkers rushed to the ground, terrified that there had been an earthquake. The police were called. Tesla slipped the vibrator into his pocket and walked away. He could have laid the building on the street in 10 minutes. In fact, modern seismology uses vibrations produced by controlled explosions or mechanical pistons as a type of underground echo sounding to prospect. Nobody, however, possesses an earthquake machine to this day. 11. Wireless energy. Tesla's wireless power breakthrough is rarely attributed to him more than a century after his death. Although Thomas Edison is better known for inventing electricity, his tests were a failure. Tesla's alternating currents, in fact, proved to be the most reliable technique of conducting energy. Using magnetic induction, Tesla successfully transmitted currents through plastic over short distances, defying the assumption that metal-to-metal contact was required to conduct electricity. His final experiment location was the Tesla laboratory in Wardenclyffe, which featured a 185-foot tower with metal bars extending below ground. Today's image is of electrical bolts extending from the top of the tower, where the coils exchange electrical currents. Tesla's coil can still be seen in some of modern television and radio designs, but it has few practical applications. His resonant inductive coupling technology, on the other hand, is used in short-range wireless systems. Tesla's research was stifled on the verge of offering free energy to all by powerful individuals who did not want energy to become a free commodity. Bankers refused to finance Tesla, and his hypothesis of global transmission was condemned. His research, however, was so vital that the FBI confiscated it following his death. Tesla's wireless power research has the potential to lead to future improvements as technology improves to accommodate new AI technologies. 10. Ozone generator. Nikola Tesla was desperate in 1903. The brilliant inventor had enticed multimillionaire J.P. Morgan to invest in wireless electric power, but Tesla's efforts to develop the technology had so far been futile. Tesla's credibility had been sullied by his failed endeavor, and he sought to repair his image while also making money. As a result, Tesla focused on another of his inventions. He patented the first portable ozone generator in the United States in 1896. Following Morgan's rejection, the cash-strapped scientist formed the Tesla Ozone Company and marketed his devices to clean indoor air. Indeed, Tesla's machines pumped poison into the rooms. Ozone in the upper atmosphere serves as crucial protection against the sun's UV radiation, but pump it into your living room and it will harm you. Tesla, a natural showman, would be shocked to find that today's ozone peddlers tout his brief involvement as a stamp of validity. Tesla appears to have been free of arrogance when it came to his ozone generators. In his self-promotional autobiography, My Inventions, he makes no mention of ozone. 9. Supersonic airships. Tesla began merging his expertise of electrical and mechanical engineering to apply it to flying. After Wardenclyffe's failure, he needed something else to occupy his thoughts. What better than the idea of flight, which had fascinated Tesla since he was a child? In the July 1919 issue of Reconstruction magazine, he described his work on constructing a supersonic aircraft that would go 8 miles above the Earth's surface and create enough speed for passengers to travel between New York and London in 3 hours. His idea was to use electricity transferred wirelessly from power plants on the ground to power airplanes, removing the need for aircraft to carry fuel. 8. AC, alternating current. Tesla invented a technique for generating electrical current in a piece of iron spinning between 2 electrified wire coils. When this spinning magnetic field device was rotated using mechanical energy, such as steam or hydropower, it generated alternating current. When the generated current reached its user and was fed into another rotating magnetic field device, it transformed into an AC induction motor that generated mechanical energy. Induction motors power domestic appliances, such as washers and dryers. The invention of these devices resulted in widespread industrial and manufacturing applications for electricity. Tesla's overall vision included more than just the induction motor. He exhibited a polyphase alternating current system, including a generator, transformers, transmission scheme, and motor and lighting, in a series of patents that made history. It offered the basic ingredients for electrical production and usage from the power source to the power user. Today, our alternating current power grid is virtually unchanged. 7. Hydroelectric power plant. In Niagara Falls, Nikola Tesla developed the first hydroelectric power plant, harnessing the power of the waterfalls he had marveled at since childhood. This was Tesla's alternating current's last win over Edison's direct current. Nikola Tesla and George Westinghouse built the hydroelectric power plant in 1895. These power plants were the catalyst for global electrification. 6. Neon light. Throughout the 1890s, in addition to his work on AC power technology, Tesla was also dabbling in high-frequency power. In 1873, James Clerk Maxwell of England mathematically established that light was electromagnetic radiation. The light was powerful and vibrated at an astonishingly high frequency. To examine this unknown universe, Tesla created a one-of-a-kind gadget known today as a Tesla coil. Tesla created a component of the primary neon and fluorescent lighting with high frequencies. He also took the first X-ray photographs. In any case, these acclaims vanished in 1890 when a vacuum tube illuminated in his hand without any electric connection. This was the start of Tesla's lifelong interest, the delivery of energy wirelessly. The intriguing fact is that no one was dealing with cathode rays or electrons observed in vacuum tubes comparable to neon lights. Tesla experimented with passing electrical particles through gases and produced 4 distinct types of lightning. Using the bright phosphorescent compound he created, Tesla converted the dark light into visible light. He also discovered particle applications for such an invention when creating light and neon signs. The concept became increasingly popular, and neon lights and signage today light up major city centers all over the world. 5. X-rays, the shadowgraph. Most people don't associate Tesla with X-ray technology, but he began experimenting with the technology in 1894. Tesla began experimenting with radiation energy around the end of the 19th century after discovering damaged film from prior tests. The following year, Wilhelm Röntgen, a German physics professor, issued a study on X-rays. To this day, Röntgen is credited with discovering X-rays, but Tesla was not far behind. He might have even beaten Röntgen to the punch if his studio hadn't been destroyed by a fire in 1895. Nonetheless, there was no ill will between the two men. In fact, when Röntgen's study was published, Tesla sent him a letter congratulating him and giving some of the images he'd been creating. In reply, Röntgen praised him for his efforts. 4. The thought camera. Tesla felt that thoughts could be photographed. In 1893, he was inspired while conducting tests. He felt convinced that a definite image generated in thinking must, because of reflex action, produce a similar image on the retina, which might perhaps be read by appropriate apparatus. The creator imagined reflecting an image on an artificial retina, photographing it, and presenting it on a screen. If this were to be accomplished, the items envisioned by a person would be plainly reflected on the screen as they were created, allowing every thought of the individual to be read. In the year 2023, scientists are researching techniques to read human thoughts. There is also a new initiative that uses AI to help decipher what our neurons are doing, so it can transform it into writing. Not precisely what Tesla had in mind, but not that far off. Even more technological trickery may be feasible in the future, such as the ability to record and replay our dreams or interact telepathically with one another via brain implants or neural cables. And you don't need a thought camera to know that most people will find these ideas fascinating. 3. Artificial tidal waves. Tesla believed science could be used to avoid war. The New York World reported in 1907 on another of Tesla's military ideas, in which wireless telegraphy would trigger the detonation of heavy explosives at sea, resulting in massive tidal waves capable of capsizing whole enemy fleets. The publication claimed that the artificial tidal surge would make navies as useless as the paper boats that babies float in bathtubs, and that by its horrors hasten the day of universal peace. 2. Tesla coil. Nikola Tesla invented the Tesla coil, an electrical resonant transformer circuit, in 1891. It is used to generate high voltage, low current, high frequency alternating current. Tesla experimented with a variety of setups that included 2 or sometimes 3 connected resonant electric circuits. Tesla used these circuits to conduct groundbreaking experiments in electrical lighting, phosphorescence, X-ray emission, high-frequency alternating current phenomena, electrotherapy, and wireless energy transmission. Until the 1920s, Tesla coil circuits were commercially utilized in spark-gap radio transmitters for wireless telegraphy, as well as in medical equipment such as electrotherapy and violet ray devices. Although small coils are still employed as leak detectors in high vacuum systems, they are mostly used for entertainment and instructional displays nowadays. Tesla coils originally employed fixed spark gaps, or rotary spark gaps, to produce intermittent excitation of the resonant circuit. 1. Phosphorescent bulb. Tesla's early lighting inventions were traditional filament or arc devices that were powered by high-frequency currents. As he immediately discovered, such currents may be used to diffuse gases or generate light emission in many solid materials. His ideas in this sector, while influential and revealed in a series of acclaimed lectures, were rarely patented. Because Tesla invented more powerful gear that could function at greater frequencies and voltages than anyone else, he was able to generate fields that could light up phosphorescent tubes throughout his laboratory without the use of wires by 1890. The energy was simply long wavelength radio from Tesla's high-frequency generators, but the signal was strong enough to be usable as power rather than communication. His early wireless power demonstrations, delivered with consummate flair, had the electrical profession transfixed, and the general people, who were exposed to these mysteries at Tesla's lighting show at the 1893 Columbian Exposition, came away with the notion that a new era of scientific miracles was on the horizon. It's obvious that Tesla was a genius, but he struggled to make a living nonetheless. Which one was your favorite? Why don't you let us know in the comments below? Well, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. Thank you for watching and see you next time.